let's talk about CBD oil. So these days, CBD oil is everywhere. It's all the rage. It's on social media, you're seeing it on TV commercials, billboards, and actually just recently I was driving and saw a storefront with huge letters that said CBD, get your CBD products here. So it's definitely popular and it's definitely catching on, but people still have a lot of questions about what CBD is and what it does. So I'm hoping to answer a lot of those questions in this video. I'm going to break the video into 5 different sections, starting with what is CBD oil, the basics. What's the difference between hemp and marijuana? That's a very common question. What is the endocannabinoid system and how does it work? What are the health benefits of CBD oil? And then at the end, I'm going to talk about sourcing CBD oil and how essential oils and CBD work together. So what is CBD oil? CBD is an abbreviation for cannabidiol. Cannabidiol is a plant compound sourced from the hemp plant that is somewhere between a fatty oil and an essential oil. So these molecules are much heavier and more dense than a true essential oil. So they don't rise when distilled the same way that the volatile molecules in an essential oil would do. But they have many of the same compounds that essential oils do. So they're somewhere in between that fatty oil that we know as a carrier oil and a true essential oil. So we know that essential oils are typically steam distilled, cold pressed, or come from resin tapping. Whereas CBD oil actually comes from a process of vacuum extraction from the plant. There are other ways that it can be extracted, but they're not healthy ways, and we'll talk about those a little bit later when we talk about sourcing. So this thick oil that is rich in plant chemicals, including CBD or cannabidiol, is the end result of this vacuum extraction process. This is typically combined with something like olive oil or coconut oil, and often flavored with stevia or maybe some other type of mint or even an essential oil, because it kind of has a bitter, really earthy plant-like taste that certainly not everybody is going to find pleasant. So it's typically combined with other substances to make it a little bit more palatable. So most products that have CBD in them are going to be oral drops that you take out of a dropper. You can have other products that are infused with CBD, like granola, coffee, gummies, all kinds of food products. And there are also CBD creams and lotions and topical products, because just like essential oils, CBD is very effective transdermally or through the skin. You can also get forms of CBD that go in through your lungs through vaping, which is not really at the top of my list, but I'm a big fan of the oral CBD products. So just to recap, CBD, cannabidiol, is a plant compound extracted from the hemp plant that is rich in beneficial plant compounds. So what makes hemp different from marijuana? Both hemp and marijuana are part of the cannabis family. So they have some compounds in common, but they're actually very different plants. And those of us who have learned a little bit about essential oils and the plants they come from, this makes perfect sense. Different species of plants, different varieties of the same plant, say lavender, can have very, very different properties and even a very different smell. So these two plants are in the same family, but they're different. Their leaves look different, and they're actually very easy to identify. You can see the difference between the two very easily once you learn the distinction, especially between the leaves. So the main difference, though, is the chemical makeup of these two plants. And specifically, what we want to talk about here is the THC, or the tetrahydrocannabidiol. I actually said it without stuttering. So I'm going to keep saying THC so I don't mess that up. But the THC is the chemical that's responsible for the psychological or psychoactive effect of the marijuana plant. So the average batch of marijuana is going to have somewhere between 5 and 20% THC. Some of the more designer brands of marijuana on the market today have up to 25 to 30% THC. Hemp, on the other hand, is going to have no more than 0.03%. So we are less than a third of 1% THC in the actual CBD oil. And in some products, that is actually removed and it's completely THC free. Hemp has a very high CBD content, hence being called CBD oil. That CBD acts as a THC antagonist, so it actually can make the very, very tiny amount of THC that's still in the product completely useless. There are some hybrid products that add in certain small amounts of THC for a synergistic effect, and that's depending on what the person is using the product for. There are some issues that respond better to small amounts of THC mixed with the CBD. But for what we're going to talk about today, we're going to focus more on the CBD. So another difference between hemp and marijuana is the environment in which they're grown. I'm not going to go into major details about this, but the environment where these two plants are grown is actually very, very different from each other. So there are quite a few differences, but they do have some of the same chemical compounds. CBD oil is not going to make a person feel high. It's not like the drug marijuana, the herb, that causes psychoactive effects. I know so many people are very afraid of that and don't want anything to do with CBD because they are concerned about taking what had been labeled a drug for decades. So with CBD oil, you do not need to worry about that because you know that it's always going to have 0.03% THC or less. So that's not a concern. If that is the case, and you can always ask a company, excuse me, you can always ask a company how much THC is present in their product, but you will also not have to worry about any type of urine testing showing up with THC in it. My thoughts are that as this industry becomes bigger, and with the legalization of hemp and CBD in almost all 50 states right now, that some of the laws that employers have for THC testing are going to have to adapt as the industry adapts. So we'll hold our breath, wait and see what happens with that. But marijuana and hemp are two very different plants, even though they come from the same cannabis plant family. What is the endocannabinoid system and how does it work? So I'm going to get a little bit technical here, but I'm also going to really oversimplify how this works. just in the interest of making sure that I don't lose anybody, and you get the basics without being burdened with the big gory details. So you can look this up online very easily if you are really into the biology and want to understand exactly how this works in the body. That information is readily available. But I'm just going to give a little overview today. So the endocannabinoid system is a biological system in the body which plays a very important role in bodily functions. So this system is now recognized, just like we have a respiratory system, a circulatory system, digestive system, immune system. This is recognized now as a system in our bodies. Endo stands for endogenous, and that means that it's something originating in the body. Cannabinoid refers to the group of compounds that activate this system. Cannabinoids are the chemical messengers for this endocannabinoid system. So there are many different kinds of cannabinoids, but basically they are classified into two categories, and they are endogenous, which originate in the body, and exogenous, which originate outside the body. So when we're talking about CBD and cannabidiol, we are talking about an exogenous compound that would be put into the body or introduced to the body. CBD and THC, like we talked about before, are examples of exogenous endocannabinoids. The endocannabinoid system has two receptors, CB1 and CB2. Each receptor responds to different cannabinoids, but some interact with both receptors. Now, these receptors are on almost all cells in the body, but they are there in different concentrations depending on what region of the body. CB1 receptor sites are found all throughout the body, but mostly present in the brain and in the spinal cord. And I know as soon as I say brain and spinal cord, a lot of people get that bell goes off. Oh, that's why it works for blah, 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 blah. You know, it works for so many different things. And when you understand where the receptor sites are and where they're concentrated, it helps you understand why these compounds affect so many different areas in the body. So just to give you an example, CB1 receptor sites are concentrated in the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is involved in regulating appetite. So in the areas where there is more concentration, it makes sense that those are areas where a behavior is going to be influenced by the introduction of cannabinoids. Does that make sense? CB2 receptors tend to be found in the peripheral nervous system. They're especially concentrated in immune cells. That's a big deal, guys. They're found in nerve endings where they reduce sensations of pain. When CB2 receptors are activated by CBD, they work to reduce inflammation. So we know inflammation is a major buzzword, but in my years of studying natural health, natural treatments, and how the body works, inflammation can be implicated as the root cause of almost any imbalanced condition that you could name in the human body. So when we find something that has such a drastic effect on inflammation in the body, we know that it can have a huge impact on overall health, which is really exciting. So the endocannabinoid system is involved in regulating so many bodily functions. It literally can affect every single cell in the body. And as it affects a cell, it starts to change the system. And we know that the endocannabinoid system, research is showing now, and many researchers believe that the endocannabinoid system is part of the body's way of maintaining homeostasis. So homeostasis is the body's extreme drive to always find balance. So it has all kinds of different checks and balances. So when we are doing something that the body doesn't like, or we're not doing something that the body needs, or we're missing vital nutrients or movement or sleep or sunshine, our body is just fearfully and wonderfully made, and it is always making slight adjustments to try to correct for those imbalances. That process is called homeostasis, and the endocannabinoid system is so important because they believe its overall function is to assist the body in getting into that balance or homeostasis. So I hope this gives you a little a better picture of why CBD seems to be like this cure-all that people keep saying there's just no way it can do all these things. But when we understand how it interacts and works with the receptor sites and works with every system and every cell in our body to maintain homeostasis, we get a clearer picture of how that works. Now on to the health benefits of CBD. So I could probably sit here and read the list of things that people have used CBD successfully for, and I could read for probably an hour straight just listing. But I made a list that is by no means exhaustive, but I think it's really important for you to hear just how many different conditions, imbalances that CBD actually has an impact on in the human body. Remember, CBD and this endocannabinoid system, when we take in these plant chemicals, we are affecting homeostasis in the body. So here are some of the issues that CBD is known to help. Killing cancer cells, epilepsy, PTSD, diabetes, Crohn's disease, gout, pain relief, glaucoma, opioid dependence, treating alcohol addiction, insomnia, psoriasis, all types of skin issues, shingles, anorexia, asthma, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, rheumatoid and other types of arthritis, migraines, multiple sclerosis, depression, anxiety. It helps with appetite, metabolism, pain, sleep, mood, movement, inflammation, neurodevelopment, neuroprotection, so that's preserving the nerves, cardiovascular function, digestive issues, and reproduction. So again, that is by no means an exhaustive list. I wish that I had been keeping track over the past 10 years. Every condition that people have reached out to me and said, hey, I tried CBD for this, and here were my results. I wish I had been wise enough to keep some type of journal of those results, but I haven't. So my philosophy at this point is, so far they have discovered no downside to taking a CBD-rich oil. So they have also found no downside or no warnings based on your age or current level of health. And CBD is not just for humans. It's been the same amazing results in all kinds of animals, and especially in house pets, because they tend to eat a similar diet to what humans eat, processed food, and they end up dealing with a lot of the same health issues that humans have. So my philosophy at this point is you really don't have anything to lose by trying it. So why not see what it does to help you? If you are struggling with any imbalances in your body, it's certainly worth a try. So it is a phenomenal choice, especially when it covers so many bases, and it has an amazing synergistic effect with a healthy lifestyle. So I am not advocating that you live recklessly with your body and then take some CBD and expect it to cure everything. That's not the case. What research is actually finding is that the healthier your lifestyle and the better your nutrition, the more benefits you get from taking a CBD enriched product. So it's actually the synergistic effect with omega-3 fatty acids, the synergistic effect with B vitamins, the synergistic effect with plant compounds and phytonutrients and all the other components that are in a healthy diet make CBD work even better. So I highly recommend it as part of an overall wellness plan. And certainly if you are in a condition where you have fallen out of wellness, it's a great choice to help bring you back in. And when you pair it with the other building blocks of a healthy lifestyle, you're going to get even better results. Okay, let's talk about sourcing of CBD oil. So just like with essential oils, the sourcing of CBD oil is vitally important. With this market expected to grow at least 700% in the next year, and they're expecting it to be a $2.1 billion a year industry. And that's for projected for the year 2020, $2.1 billion industry. So everybody's going to be jumping on board. We're already seeing it, right? So this means that people are going to cut corners, do anything they can to get the cheapest product that they can get and bring to market and slap a CBD label on it. So we're going to have to be extremely careful about sourcing CBD, just like we are when we source our nutritional supplements and our essential oils. Sourcing is everything. Just like with essential oils, CBD can be extracted using solvents. And those solvents are hexane, butane, isopropyl alcohol, and other, I wrote another one down here, ethanol. So just like with essential oils, if a producer uses these solvents to extract the CBD from the hemp plant, traces or even larger amounts of those solvents are going to be in the finished product. They are toxic, they are dangerous. And we know that with cutting corners, producers are going to be using those to be able to get the highest yield, the quickest yield, and be able to throw a label on there. Now, just like the nutritional supplement industry, there is no FDA oversight at this point over CBD. They're working on some FDA guidelines for hemp growers at this point, but that's not really going to affect the finished product yet. So I am aware of a group that has gotten together to regulate and do third-party testing on all hemp products, and I'm sure that we'll be able to bring that out more in the future. But sourcing is going to be incredibly important. You cannot go on to Amazon and just order any random hemp property. You do not know what you're getting in that bottle. You don't know what solvents are in there. You don't know how much glyphosate. You don't know how much pesticides and other toxic residues are in that oil. In fact, you don't even know that you are not getting a a canola oil or a soybean oil with a little bit of green food coloring and no CBD whatsoever. We've heard those stories about people ordering essential oils from Amazon and them putting a new label or a new cap on there, so it doesn't look like it's ever been tampered with. But the only essential oil left in that bottle is just the residual scent from the molecules stuck on the inside from they refilled it with some other cheap vegetable oil. So we have to be extremely careful about sourcing CBD. So we know that we will soon have access to a CBD oil that meets the Young Living seed to seal guarantee. So just like it sounds, this will mean that the process met our standards and was controlled strictly from when the seed went in the ground, from before when the seed went into the ground, because the soil is extremely important and the history of that soil is very important. So before the seed went into the ground until that seal is put on that bottle, that the process is controlled start to finish. So you want to look, of course, for third-party testing. You want to be looking at tests that prove what the CBD concentration is and what the, if any, THC concentration is in that bottle. You want to know exactly what is in that bottle. And companies like Young Living will actually be able to test those oils and be looking for many of the compounds that are common in our essential oils, like sesquiterpenes and terpenes and all other types of plant chemicals, and to see what else is what else is present in that oil, which is really, really exciting, because the cannabidiol is not the only plant compounds in there. It's just the one that seems to get all of the attention. So the other thing that I have been hearing a lot is, what about my essential oils? Does this make them useless? Does this make them obsolete? Absolutely not. Just like with when we take single oils and we combine them to make a synergy, or what we call an essential oil blend, you increase the value of every single oil in that body by creating the synergy. So you have a different frequency, you have more plant chemicals in there, and you change that oil into something more powerful and has a more and better and different effect on the human body. So the same thing happens with CBD when it is combined with other plant chemicals. I am out of my mind excited to experience a CBD oil expertly blended for the synergy of the cannabidiol and the amazing plant compounds found in essential oils. So this is something that I have been amateurly doing for the past couple years that I have been taking CBD. I have actually been combining it with certain essential oils, and I've had amazing results. So I can't wait to see what Young Living is going to do with their, they have the labs, they have the experts, the blending experts that are going to be able to measure and actually see what is happening when you combine Young Living essential oils and CBD oil that is derived from organic hemp in a healthy way without solvents and toxins. And the marriage of these two together is going to be something extremely unique and extremely special. I will never give up my essential oils. CBD will never replace all of the things that I use essential oils in my home for. I will never replace my Thieves Cleaner for CBD. I will never replace my Super B. and my Super C and my Sulfurzyme and my shampoo and my conditioner and my soap, and oh my goodness, I use everything Young Living. I'm never going to brush my teeth with CBD. My Thieves toothpaste is not going anywhere. So I know that some people have had a little bit of apprehension about Young Living introducing a CBD oil, but I feel totally opposite. I want to see the Young Living family that understands the importance of sourcing. I mean, we understand that like nobody else. We understand how important it is to know what is in the products that we are putting in and on our bodies. So I'm super, super excited to be able to have full confidence in a company that I trust, partnering with somebody to bring a seed to seal quality CBD mixed with essential oils. The synergy, guys, my goodness, this is going to be amazing. So this is not a threat to essential oils. This is not a threat to what we share. This is a beautiful and very welcome addition to the Young Living product line, because just like Gary, we are all about helping people get well and stay well. And CBD is going to be a huge part of that. And I would love to see people get to a place using CBD and all of the other amazing things that we have at our fingertips to get well and be able to transition into that maintenance place with their oils and the clean products that they use to have a healthy home, and maybe not even need the CBD anymore. So this is not a threat. This is a wonderful addition to the Young Living lineup, and I cannot wait for this to happen. Remind people of Seed to Seal. Help them understand that Seed to Seal standards are not just for essential oils. They are also for nutritional supplements. They are also for the CBD, and hopefully you're doing as much as you can with the foods that you're choosing for your body as well. Finding local farmers where you can ask questions and you know how your food is being grown. You know basically from the seed to your table what is happening with your food. That's the best way to stay well. So I hope this answered some of your questions that you may have had about CBD. And I hope you're as excited as I am about the launch of this new product. I just cannot wait. Can't wait to hear testimonials about how it's helping people who need what we have. So we need to push forward. We need to continue sharing the entire wellness lifestyle. We're not going to shut everything else down and focus on the CBD. It's part of the wellness lifestyle. So go after this, guys. Share, share, share. People need what we have. They need to know that there is a better way, and we have it. Young Living offers it. So I'm thrilled to be on this journey with all of you, and I can't wait to get this in my hands and experience it for myself, and I hope you feel the same way. Bye.
His Vision Films.